Andrés García La Calle was the squadron leader of the 1st Fighter Squadron of the Spanish Republic and late commander of all the fighter units of the Spanish Republican Air Force during the Spanish Civil War. Biography. Born in Sestao, in Spain, he started his career in 1929 as an NCO after having got his license in a private aero club. He saw action immediately on the break of the Civil War, flying with all outdated planes for the time, like the Newport Ne-52 Delage, the Hawker Fury, the Loire 46 and the Juatina 371, where, nevertheless, he scored his first 3 victories. He was promoted to lieutenant near September 1936 upon the arrival of the more modern Soviet fighters Polikarpov I-15 and Polikarpov I-16. He participated in the first squadrons, organized by the Russians, defending Madrid and contributing to the endurance of the city despite the terrorist air-bombing attacks against civilians by German and Italian units. In November of the same year he took command as captain of the 1st Fighter Squadron, organized now under Spanish control. It became known as the La Calle Squadron, composed of 25 planes, the leader and another 6 groups of 4. One of these groups included only American pilots, and was named the American Patrol. The most prominent of them, Frank Glasgow Tinker, has left a detailed description on the character of La Calle in his book Some Still Live. The other 3 were Albert Baumler, Harold Evans Dahl and Benjamin Leiter, who was killed early in the squadron's career. La Calle was very young for his duties, almost careless as a child when driving a car but extremely skilled while flying a plane. Tinker was amazed that La Calle scored victories flying the very difficult Ne-52. As a leader, La Calle was careful not to expose his fighters to unnecessary risks, as he knew how difficult it was to replace them, but when the duty called, he was ready to fight under any conditions. During the Battle of Jarama, La Calle demonstrated the effectiveness of his squadron by making multiple ground attacks to support closely the Republican troops, and was thus nicknamed the Hero of Jarama. During the Battle of Guadalajara, he ordered his planes to fly under very poor visibility conditions that surprised the Italian attackers. Their columns stuck on the roads to Madrid were decimated. End of 1937 he was promoted to major, and was sent to Russia for advanced training. On his return he was promoted to LT Colonel, and given the task of reorganizing all the fighter units. Most of his pilots in the La Calle Squadron led these new fighter groups. La Calle himself was officially credited with 11 confirmed victories at the time, but this number might have been as high as 21. The possible reason for the discrepancy was that the mercenary American pilots in his unit were highly paid for the salaries and extra for their kills, while the Spanish pilots were receiving some 10 times less salary and no money for any kill. La Calle was intentionally not keen in confirming any claims except the very obvious ones, and so it went for his own kills. By the end of 1938 La Calle found himself in an extremely hard position, desperately running out of equipment, material, planes, and mainly experienced pilots. He led the very last fighter operations after the Battle of the Ebro with only 30 fighters against them 550 of the combined German and Italian planes under Franco. Exile. On February 6, 1939, La Calle left from the Villajuiga airfield for the Francozal aerodrome near Toulouse in his last I-16 fighter, leading a great part of the planes of the Spanish Republican Air Force to France so that they would not fall in the hands of the enemy. However, immediately upon landing, La Calle was arrested by the French authorities and was interned in the Argelès-sur-Mer concentration camp located near Perpignan, until he was able to escape to Mexico. He died in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, in 1980. La Calle was awarded 3 medals for his service, and wrote a book on the Civil War, titled The Myths and the Truth, Mitos y Verdades. His son is the Dominican-Mexican actor Andrés García